Hi, I'm Dorion Fuchs, theater major, class of 1983. Let me get my mouse to work here. Okay. Clicking to add notes. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Somebody said mouse. That's error. Anyway, the tech guy can't figure out how to do it. So anyway, this is, as I mentioned, I graduated from SUNY Purchase in 1987. I have been with a BFA in lighting design, and I've been a proud member of the New York City Stagehands Local #1 IATSE since 1999. This is me and Michael Coleman on this stage in Romeo and Juliet in 1982. Mercutio and Tybalt, living our best lives. There was no tech program then, so just theater, so we learned it all. Here is me and my BSA brothers and sisters, the first members of my network. The 80s, I love the hair, right? Then it was off to SUNY Purchase to learn how to work in the theater until 10 p.m., then stay up all night doing classwork. I focused on lighting, but studied all elements of design and production. My network got bigger. That's the Henry Moore sculpture, which is a pretty famous part of the quad right up there at SUNY Purchase. So, upon graduation, I tapped into that network, which I started developing at school, and for the first time I began working as a freelance capacity in New York City. My education continued. Off-Broadway shows, TV, fashion, corporate, architectural, shop, dance, custom installations, and even museum gigs all helped to pay the bills. A life-changing event occurred in 1998. When one of my college friends, Josh, said, "Hey man, you want to come and work on this production? It's amazing, and right now, it's mostly non-union. But it's about to win Tony Awards and get organized by the IATSE, which stands for International Association of Theatrical and Stage Employees." I became a union member through the hard work of organizing that show. Cabaret ran for 6 years. Lucky me. That's me at the 2017 Labor Day Parade in New York City. I'm grateful every day for the introduction of a measure of security benefits both health and monetary, and the strong fellowship that comes from being a brother in Local 1. I can't possibly give back as much as I get. In the Broadway community, we try to keep it fun. The Broadway Show League is just one example of that. Stars to ushers, we all play on the same teams. Since 1998, I have worked, hold on, I was one behind, sorry guys. Since 1998, I've worked as a Broadway stagehand on over 18 productions. I am currently working on the Broadway production of Beautiful, the Carole King musical. My day at the office starts by arriving 1 hour before half hour is called. I start the preset for the show with my 15 sister and brother stagehands from props, carpentry, electrics, and sound. I attend to wireless mics and props and scenery containing electrics or sound components like batteries of all shapes and sizes. In-ear monitors used in this case to make prop babies cry, prop TVs and radios function. I also assist as needed with other electric department preparations, such as the never-ending supply of busted moving lights and burned out lamps in the show rig, or the theater itself, where we take care of the outdoor marquees and signage. I then switch gears into show running mode and head up to the lighting booth and run one of the 2 follow spots for the show, or down to the moving light hospital and run the deck electrician's sound track. Now what about you? It's called show business after all. In the 2016-2017 season, Broadway shows grossed $1.6 billion. That includes 45 newly mounted productions and many longer running shows. This slide shows just some of the different unions and organizations representing the most common jobs required to create, produce, and operate a Broadway show. The Beautiful Broadway Company alone writes checks to 190 to 250 people on a weekly basis. If you include the house staff like me, the number is around 300. These numbers are bigger when a show is in production and working towards opening. directors, choreographers, actors, musicians, set lighting, costume design and costume designers, scenic artists, company managers, press agent, box office treasurers, house managers, ushers, hair, makeup, wardrobe, teamsters, electrics, sound, carpentry, props, draftsmen, graphic designers, publicity and show promotion folks, who are very important by the way, as well as facilities workers like porters and building engineers. Many of these crafts require massive amounts of pre-production and rehearsal to work to create and construct the show. Almost all the creative types have an assistant. All of this adds up to lots of work, jobs for lots of people. Some artistic, some not. Some full-time, some not. One of these might be for you. It's hard work, but you have started to get a real taste for that here at BSA. I know I did. Depending on the venue, there may be as many as 10 to 18 crafts and services union represented. All are employed in one way or another by the entertainment industry, which is a financial juggernaut, of which Broadway is a large part. Not to mention companies which often, touring companies, right? Touring companies of the shows, which often lead to trade jobs with personnel and productions on Broadway. Many of my colleagues have extensive touring experience. Tips for when you are ready to make your move to NYC? Keep building the network you started here. How you interact with people will get you or cost you more work than any other skills you may have. You can always learn the new lines or a new craft, but you may not get a chance to unsay a thing. Never compromise your or anyone else's personal safety at work. Show up on time. Bring the tools you need to do your work. Listen more than speak. Some advice I learned the hard way. Keep your overhead costs low. As was mentioned by the previous speaker, roommates can help with that. Maintain other interests and earning power. Examples, I have a stagehand sister who in addition to working on shows runs a company to build and supply benches to fashion shows. A friend in the wardrobe union who also has a catering and restaurant business, and another who runs a wedding and event planning company. I know an actor who is a licensed real estate broker. When I left BSA, I had begun to move away from performing and enjoying backstage work. I knew then that I wanted to stay close to the arts one way or another. Little did I realize the incredible variety of employment options that I would be exposed to on my journey.